Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Nancy, our great co-chairs of the Regional Economic Development Council. Let's give them a round of applause. To my great friend and your great county executive, Joni Mahoney, it's a pleasure to be with her. Assemblyman Bill Magnarelli, pleasure to be with you, Bill. We're going to see Senator John DeFrancisco later. We have members of my cabinet, but today they are members of the Strategic Assessment Team, SAT. Very nice, very official, very effective. Pleasure to be with them. We have Amy Liu, who is here from Brookings Institute, that has been a guiding force all through this process. I thank Amy Liu and Brookings for their help. And all of the members of the Regional Council, thank you for being here. I'm very excited about this. You know, and I was reminiscing on the way in. The concept of the Regional Economic Development Councils basically brings forward and crystallizes the best thinking in urban development over the past 30 years. I spent 8 years at Housing and Urban Development. I worked with Amy Liu at that time. And all the conferences and all the papers and all the great thinking about model urban development programs is what is in the Regional Economic Development Council. The bottom-up that Nancy was just talking about, that was a fact well established that you have to vest the community. It has to be organic. It has to be from within. It cannot be external and imposed upon. And if the community's not bought in, it's not going to work. It has to be comprehensive. It has to be regional because the economy works in a region. And forget your governmental subdivisions. I'm a city, I'm a county, I'm a town. That's not the way the economy works. The economy doesn't see the boundaries on a map. The economy works in a region, so it has to be a regional approach. You have to collaborate across areas. You have to get academia to work with government. You have to get people from different parties. So all the concepts are there. And they are the theory of the Regional Economic Development Councils. The big question then becomes, can you do it? Can you do it? As an incentive to get it done, we made the process a competition. Why? Because people like to win. Why else? Because people don't like to lose. So the incentive to do all these things that heretofore were very difficult, because it's easy to say, it's hard to do, you should operate as a region. Well, I understand the concept, but in practice it's hard to do because you have all those subdivisions, and that's how we're oriented. And to all of a sudden cooperate and collaborate and put our differences aside, that sounds very nice. But it's very hard to do. So the competition, I believe, provides an incentive. If you can do it, you will succeed and you'll have financing from the state. If you can't do it, you will not succeed because you're in a competition with the 10 other regions. Also, one thing that we used to talk about was how there was no one New York State economy. These regions put an exclamation point in that, you know. You have one economy in central New York, one economy in the North Country, one economy in western New York, all different variations, and each one being developed individually. So all the pieces on the table are there. The bottom line is, but then it's up to you to do it. And today has two parts. The morning part that I'm going to attend, we're going to look at what has been done from last year's plan, what is underway, what have we accomplished, because this is not an academic exercise. I don't mean that as a slight on academia. Yeah, I meant it in the intellectual sense. We want to have the full academic component, and we want to get something done. So we want to we want to put both of those together. So what kind of progress are we actually making? What are we accomplishing? And I know it's a very short period of time. It's about 1 year. But as Rob was saying, the cranes are in the air. The cranes are in the air. And when you can count the cranes and the cranes are in the air, It means you're building, it means you're developing, it means you're moving forward. And we're doing that. We're going to see that this morning. This afternoon, the presentation will be made to the team that's assembled for next year's competition to see what the funding is and if they're successful for the next application. I won't be participating in that, and I'm going to leave that to the team members. But the energy is up. You can feel it here. You can feel it when you're on the ground. You can feel it all across the state. We have made great progress, I think, in 2 years, and I think that's inarguable. And this concept is working, and people have risen to the challenge all across the state. And there's a new dynamic. There's a new energy. People believe, and getting people to believe is the first step. And when people believe a region is coming back, they invest, they buy homes, they fix their home, and it becomes a positive synergy. And that's what's happening here. We're going to get the national economy, which I think is poised to really start to take off. We have that wind at our back. We're going to bring this state to places we've never been before. And I really do believe in the state of New York, you ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to be. So thank you and enjoy today, and thank you for having me.